Um, I would say for me, like I said before, I just think that seeing this work in action is so inspiring for my own personal life, but also just to give me some hope for the future. There is change being made, and in all of the policies that we saw today, there is so much progress and representation that we haven't really seen even in the past just few years. So I just love to see all the work that's being done.
Yeah, I think to follow up on that, a lot of people, there's a negative stigma about Gen Z, about youth. Oh, they're lazy. Oh, they're addicted to their phones. Yada, yada, yada. You can go on and on. Oh, they're spoiled. But people should be scared of Gen Z, in all honesty. Um, I mean, just in this room, we saw a couple of very powerful policies, legislation, things that are going to change the future. And I'm sure you all are aware of what's happening across college campuses around the country, regardless of your political views. Young people are taking a stand. A lot of people are, which should be scary to those in power and those in legislation, policy positions, because when we get mad, when Gen Z gets mad, when we don't like something, we're going to try and change it. People think we're going to stand down, but as you can see in this today, in this summit, in these policies, we're not going to stand down. We're going to stand up for what we believe is right, and we're going to work at it. So yeah, thank you to all the policy.
I had a couple notes that I was just taking away that I think are very impactful, or just something that I'm using for my own development in the future. So from our first presentation, it is really thinking about the importance of investing in non-clinical interventions. I think so much of the mental health field is centered around that clinical piece of get a therapist, go to therapy, and all of that, and there are so many different aspects and opportunities for healing if we just broaden our perspectives with that. I think additionally with the peer support program that it helped with thinking about the legitimacy of peer support work as well. It's often not seen as a healing practice, but I think through programs like this, through investment, through opportunities of sharing out that information, it really highlights that peer support is a huge, huge benefit to our youth population and people in general. Additionally, when it comes to just thinking about the exposure opportunities that are presented with that, in a way, programs like this, the policies that we've talked about so far, it's contributing to a generation of wellness. And that's something that we really need to start investing in and thinking about how we can continue to promote. And when it comes to some of the other interventions, I think it's really important that we also think about how we can do this in a more proactive and prevention sense as opposed to just the more reactive opportunity as well. When we think about how we can prevent harm in the first place, a lot more people can be protected and saved in that sense. And then the last thing I'll say is a quote that I feel like today really reminded me of. I might not get it perfectly, but it's by Glenn E. Martin, that the people closest to the problem are closest to the solution, but furthest from resources and power. So as we continue to do this work, I think it's really important that we remember and continue to make sure that, again, the people, the youth that are closest to youth mental health, that they are closest to the solutions, they are closest to everything that we need for the future development of this work. So let's make sure that we continue to make sure that they are the center of these interventions, these policies, and this work. And yeah, I'll just leave it at that, but thank you so much for your time.
I don't want to shy away from the fact that I have felt rather hopeless sometimes in the work that I do. But I think that it's just times like these where I meet other youth who are doing such incredible things and making real change that it really inspires me and makes me hopeful for a better future. So I don't know, I just wanted to put that out there that no matter how hopeless it feels, there's gonna be people out there who are fighting for change, fighting for justice. And so I think it's important to keep that in the forefront of your mind and not forget.
Yeah, just briefly, I just wanted to echo all my other panelists. I think it's amazing to see all of the lived experience experts that are up here today. And I also just want to thank all of the policy presenters as well. I think there's huge power when it comes to lived experience, and I think this summit is really a true testament to that. Thank you.